Look at this goofy goober, bro. Bro shaped like a peanut. Rapers, what's this good? It's your boy Laser. We're back with another reaction video using the reaction content. So I continue to deliver that for you guys. It's reacting to top 10 amazing people who survived the impossible. Guys, people who have survived crazy ass shit in life. We're just showing you. If you use the reaction content, we're reacting videos like teachers. Please hit the like button. You subscribe. And took a notification bell icon brush from every night on Twitch. Let's dive straight into this video.
YouTube, I am Landon. Welcome back to another most amazing top 10 video. Have you guys ever wondered what is the most incredible thing someone survives? And also, let me ask you this, what is something that you're afraid of? And what top 10 video should I make next? Okay, so getting right into this video, this right here is the top 10 most amazing people who survived.
Top 10 amazing people.
Coming in at number 10, we have Anna Begenhorm, and let's call her Ice Woman. She was born in 1970 in Vancouver.
Is this the bitch where they put her, like, did they put this bitch in like an ice, like a giant ice cube? Is this the same one I'm thinking of?
Ginzburg, Sweden. Well, in 1999, she had a skiing accident that left her trapped underneath a layer of ice for 80 minutes in freezing water. During that time, she became a victim of extreme hypothermia, and her body decreased to 56.7 degrees Fahrenheit.
How the fuck did she survive that shit? No way she didn't lose any sort of limbs from that. You're telling me her body was completely intact from that shit?
For a normal person, it's about 98. So Anna was able to survive because she was able to...
That's actually terrifying, bro. That's gotta be one of my worst fears. I think freezing to death, I'm gonna be for real, I think freezing to death is worse than being burned alive. I mean, like, they're both not instant. Like, they're both terrible pains, but, like, I think freezing to death is worse than fucking being burned alive. I don't know. They both are ass, bro. They're both ass.
Pocket underneath the ice, and she was just like breathing through it. But she suffered from circulatory arrest after 40 minutes of being in the water. So a rescue team found her and airlifted her by helicopter to the nearest hospital. A team of 100 doctors and nurses worked in shifts for a period of 9 hours to try to save her life. So she was in a coma for 10 days, and guess what? She woke up. So since the accident, she has made an almost full recovery. The reason why she was able to survive was because her body completely froze before her heart stopped beating. She was literally frozen in time.
Ooh.
Coming in at number 9, we have Vesna Vulovic, and let's call her the Flying Woman. Vanessa was a stewardess on board Flight 367 back in 1972. Her plane went down while flying over East Germany on its route from Stockholm to Belgrade when the plane exploded from 𝐂𝐲𝐬 terrorists who planted a bomb on the plane. So the plane broke into two and Vanessa flew right out of the plane. So she fell 10,160 meters to the ground.
Oh, so she was like this, bro. It's a bird, it's a plane. Phew. Oh, I just went down like bird shit. You guys ever be just walking, bro, and a bird just randomly does this over your head? Flap, flap, flap. Ah, stupid ass fucking bird.
The plane then crashed into a mountain near a village, killing everyone, leaving her as the sole survivor. She suffered a fractured skull, 3 broken vertebrae. She was temporarily paralyzed from the waist down and also had 2 broken legs. She went into a coma for 27 days, but now she was fully recovered from the accident. She was then put into the Guinness World Records books for the highest jump out of an airplane without a parachute and to live to tell the story. Moving on, Roy Sullivan. Let's call him the Lightning Man, and he comes in at number 8. He is a United States Park Ranger.
Is this the same guy that... Oh, no, I thought they were... Yeah, I know we've all seen that picture. You guys seen that picture of this is what happens when you get struck by lightning? And he's got like a whole ass, like... I can't explain it. Like a fucking Zeus type back. You know what I mean? Like he's got like... It looks cool as shit, too. And then I remember the comments were like, ah, now I want to be struck by lightning. That looks cool as shit. It did look actually really cool. But like... I don't know. What is it? Like, I wonder what being struck by lightning actually feels like. Like, dead serious. Is it like a hot pain? Or like, what does it feel like? I'm actually curious.
Ranger when he was hit by lightning on 7 different occasions and survived all of them. He was recognized by the Guinness World Records books as the person who has been struck by lightning by more than any other human. His first strike was back in 1942 when he lost his big toenail. In 1969, he lost his eyebrows and he was knocked unconscious. 1970, he was left with a really bad shoulder scar. In 73, he was struck right in the head.
You know what's crazy, bro? I forgot that people can actually be struck by lightning. Like, I can't explain. I just feel like lightning is like just something like you can't be struck by. You know what I mean? It's like when people actually get struck by it, like, damn, that's unlucky, you know what I mean?
1977, his most recent one and his most serious one. It took him to the hospital. So this story about Roy Sullivan actually ends on a sad note. At the age of 71 years old, he actually took his own life with a gunshot wound. Alright, at number 7, we have Truman Duncan. And let's call him Miracle Half Man. The 38-year-old man was working at his job at a railway. He was on the train when he slipped and fell right in front of the train. He was pulled right underneath the train, being dragged by the wheels for 75 feet. And then his body couldn't take it anymore. He was ran right over and cut right into two. Miraculously enough, he was able to call 911 on his own cell phone. He closed his eyes and just waited for help to come. He fought to stay alive. And when the emergency teams came and put an IV in him, that's when lights were out for Truman. Anything after that, he does not remember. So he woke up 2 to 3 weeks later and realized that he's still alive. He lost both his legs and his kidney. During the time when he was in a coma, doctors only gave him 1 in a million chances of living. He fought all odds, undergoing 23 major surgeries, and now he lives to share his story. He has shared it with ABC and even the Oprah Winfrey Network. Remarkable enough, he went back and he's working at the same job. Okay, moving on to Louis Zamperini, and let's call him Unbroken. You guys remember that movie that came out that was directed by Angelina Jolie? Well, that movie was based from a true story.
Was he like stuck in the ocean?
And it's Louis's life. He was an American prisoner of the war who survived in World War II. He also had an Olympic career. Well, his life took a turn when his plane crashed into the sea. He was able to get into a raft and just float the sea until he was able to reach land or until he was saved.
That's gotta be like, I'm gonna be for real. If I was like stranded in the ocean, like on a raft, I wouldn't be as scared. Like, I don't know. I feel like I can. You know what I would do, bro? Like, I feel like if I was on a raft, damn. That's where, like, you know what I would do? I would probably just, like, pray that I would come across some debris or whatever to use it, like, as, like, a fucking, rowing thing, whatever the fuck you call it, man. But, like, being stranded in the middle of the ocean is, like, my worst fear, hands down. Because it's, like, the thing that's scary about being stranded in the middle of the ocean is, like, you can't see anything in the distance. Like, you're just surrounded by a sea of water. It's like you're literally in waterland, you know what I mean? You're in waterland. It wasn't there, like, a movie that was, like, based on that? Like, where, like, the world just became an ocean. I don't even fucking know, bro.
Well, he was out on sea for 47 days. He survived many shark attacks. There was a plane that dropped bombs on him. This is like the enemy of the war.
Damn.
He had to jump in the water and avoid being blown up. So on day 47, he found an island, but bad luck for him, it was of the enemy. He walked into a Japanese camp that took him prisoner. Well, guess what? He was able to survive all that, win the war. Louis eventually went on to live a very old age at 97 years old. He has lived the most amazing events in history. Now we have Carlos Rodriguez at number 5. And let's call him the man with half a head. He lost a large portion of his...
Look at this goofy goober, bro. Bro, shaped like a peanut. Hey. Put some headphones on him, bro. Bro, on some real shit, like, it's his brain, like, it's kind of like an Elephant Man type thing, right? How did this happen?
Brain and skull after flying through his car front window and landing on his head during a serious car accident.
Did he suffer any brain damage?
This picture that you guys are looking at right now,
That's literally my head after taking my headphones after too long, bro. It looks like someone literally put like a... That's terrifying, bro.
Everyone thinks that this is fake, this is impossible, you know, this is photoshopped. Well, no. This is real, and this is the guy's true story. Doctors were forced to cut away large portions of his head and skull to try to keep this guy alive during the brutal accident.
I wouldn't want to live anymore, bro. Like, there's no way... So if he didn't suffer any brain damage, okay, then that's okay. But, like, I don't know. I just... Looking like that, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
That he went through. So he's
no
missing
offense.
a lot of flesh and bone. He has fully recovered.
And I just realized, so like if someone touches him right there, is it like fragile? Like, is it very soft? That's
amazing enough, he's living a very normal life. Very lucky guy. So the accident happened when he was 14 years old. He was on a lot of drugs and decided to go out driving.
That's stupid. What kind of drugs? Heroin? That reminds me of that one story. I know you guys have all heard it. I've seen photos of it too, man. It's so traumatizing. You guys heard of the Porsche girl story? Is, you know, that girl that was like on heavy, I think it was like cocaine or whatever. I don't know. I've seen so many like YouTubers talk about it. Like, it's like It's one of the most fucked things on the internet. It's pretty much a girl that was on cocaine and she got in a crazy car crash and her fucking photos of her crash got leaked and shit, and now it's like so infamous, bro. It's fucked up and shit. It's so fucked.
Hit into a pole and went flying right out the front window because he didn't have a seatbelt on. Well, he was arrested, but he spent most of his time at the hospital. Coming in at number 4, Aron Ralston.
Number 4.
Or you know what? Better known as 127 Hours. I know what you guys are thinking.
Oh my god, Landon, I freaking love that movie.
Well, this is another movie based out of a true story. Aron was the man behind the movie that was played by James Franco. In 2003, in southeastern Utah, he had an accident where he fell from a cliff when a boulder fell on his right forearm. He was trapped there. He was stuck there for 5 days, which was 127 hours. He resorted to amputating his own arm with a dull knife in order to get himself free. And if you guys go on YouTube right now, his original footage, not from the movie footage, Aron's video is on YouTube and you guys can watch the real thing.
I didn't watch it.
He even talks about what he had to go through to cut his arm off. It was brutal. So once this guy was free, he was still far
Is that Tom Brady?
from safety. He had to rappel down 65 feet and walk for hours to try to find some help. During this time, he lost 40 pounds and 25% of his blood, but somehow he found the strength to survive. So now he considers himself as reborn. Okay, moving on. Finally, at number 3, we have 𝐂𝐤𝐤, or let's call her sole survivor. At the age of 17 years old, she was on a plane in 1954 that crashed into a mountain in Vietnam after being struck by lightning due to a severe thunderstorm. The flight was Lanza Flight 508 and it was en route from Lima, Peru to Pucallpa, Peru. There was 92 people on board and one of them being her mom. Well, Julianne was the only survivor who survived a 10,000 feet fall. The whole time she was still strapped to her seat, so she fell to the bottom of the forest. She was knocked out for a whole day. When she woke up, she realized that she's the sole survivor. So this is when she knew she needed to find help, try to find a village or something. So in the forest, she was being eaten alive by bugs and maggots. So she learned something that her father taught her because her mom and dad are actually scientists. And she knew to get rid of all these bug bites, she needed to burn them away by getting gasoline and pouring it all over her body.
Oh no, don't put it on me. I ain't been burning up. My fire.
But you know what? It worked. 11 days later, she was saved. So much later in time, investigators found out that her mother actually also survived the crash, but she died in the forest. Okay, moving on. At number
2,
we have Weslo Mogel, and he is the Bullet Man. Back on March 18th, 1915, he was captured while fighting in the Mexican Revolution War. Without trial, he was sentenced to be executed by a firing squad. A firing squad is a method of capital punishment. It was very common during the war. It's where a team of people come together, get their guns out, and when they're ready, they start shooting. They start shooting at vital organs, which is you.
dude, that's gotta be the worst way. I mean, I know that's like still a thing, that just being shot down like a fire team or whatever they're called. I can't even speak. That's like a form of execution, right?
Usually the head. Weslo was shot 9 times, including a final bullet from close distance right to the head because they wanted to make sure that he was dead. But miraculously enough, he survived, and guess what? He was actually able to escape. So he went on to live a full life. This famous picture that you guys have been seeing throughout this whole
Did he suffer any brain damage?
thing, it was taken in 1937 in NBC studios. After 20 years after he was shot, he was talking about his story, and after that he went on to travel with the Ripley's Believe It or Not crew around the world.
He didn't suffer any brain damage?
And finally, at the number 1 spot, we have Fran Salac, and let's call him the world's luckiest man. Fran is a 𝐂𝐤𝐤 music teacher. Back in 1962, Fran was riding a train through a cold, rainy canyon when the train flipped off the tracks and crashed into the river. He survived from a broken arm and hypothermia. The next year, during his first and only plane ride, he was blown out of a malfunctioning plane door and landed in haystacks. 3 years after that, he got on a bus that skid off a road and landed into a river. Fran managed to swim to shore with only cuts and bruises. In 1970, his car caught on fire. He managed to escape before the fuel tank blew up. 3 years later, the engine of his car was doused with hot oil, causing flames to shoot through the vents, but he survived.
Chaos.
In 1955, he was struck by a bus in Zagreb, which is in Croatia, but sustained only minor injuries. Moving on to 1996, he was involved with a head-on collision on a mountain curve, which caused him to get ejected from his car, and he somehow landed in a tree while his car plummeted to the ground 300 feet. It sounds so unbelievable, but he has escaped death 7 times, making him the world's luckiest man. It's almost like a movie, but it doesn't end there. Unbelievably, when he turned 73 years old, he won $1 million from the lottery. This is like the luckiest, unluckiest guy. So believe it or not, but all of these events...
Well, guys, this video, hope you enjoyed it. Guys, imagine being struck by lightning. That's like terrifying. If you guys are reaction content, more guys, these features, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!